Hi, it's your girl Trudy, and you're tuned in to Hair Talk with Trudy. Today we're talking about transitioning. Everybody is transitioning. Can you imagine? Whether we're transitioning from processed hair to natural hair, from locks to natural hair, and then when we're going through that transition, we want to know what kind of protective style to use and the do's and the don'ts in the process of transitioning and in the process of making those protective style work for us. We're gonna talk about that today. So let's talk about, first and foremost, when we transition from processed hair to natural hair. What I think hard. Well, I never have processed hair, so it wasn't that hard for me, I'm sorry. But I've had lots of clients that call every single day. What can I do? How can I do it? Do I do a big chop? That's another one. A lot of persons want to do big chops, but they don't know how it's gonna fit them. I say just go into it with the big chop. But let's really just kind of focus on the areas of processed hair. A lot of times when we transitioning from processed hair, persons they either decide to grow that processed hair out by doing different protective styles, right? Or they go with braids, whether it's cornrow braids, whether it's plaits, rope twists, whether it's crusher braids, whether it's faux locks. There are so many things that you can do now in these times. Hair is such a big thing that we can do so many things when we're processing from processed hair, or transitioning, I mean to say, from processed hair to natural hair. And it's not hard. It's not hard, because a lot of times when we are mindset, when we make up our minds to listen, we no longer want to burn our scalp and to have none of these things going through our scalp, going into our brain. We decide on a lot of things, and we make sure to do our research and get the things that we want for our natural hair. So like I said, we can do several different methods of transitioning. Persons can go with a big chop, or if they choose to grow the hair and allow their roots to come to life, as we say it here at Just Natural, they allow the natural part of their hair to grow up with the help of a cornrow, with the help of a braid, whether it's cornrow plaits, whether it's twist braids with human hair braids, with synthetic hair. Anything that is a protective style that gives you the time, an allotted time, so that the hair can take its time and transition right down. And then when it gets to a desired length, then we can always cut off the processed hair and allow our natural hair to start doing what it is to do or supposed to do. And the persons with natural hair always transition into locks. I don't know. Sometimes they do, actually. Sometimes they do. And then but you have another time when persons who have the locks for many years, like myself, we take them out. It's not that we don't want them anymore, but sometimes we just want a difference. We want something, we want a change. But you know what? We'll always go back. But let's talk about transitioning from locks to natural hair. Persons who are bored and they want to do something different. The transition from locks to natural hair isn't that hard as the transition from processed hair to natural hair, because most persons will just grow out their hair and not interlock. They will not interlock for a long time, which is a method of grooming. When you have locks, they would not interlock for a long time and allow that new growth to extend to a desired length, and then they just cut from there. Or some persons have the time and the patience to sit down and pour immense condition onto the body of the locks, and they will use a very fine point, whether it's needle anything that the edges are very fine, to sit down and meticulously take out the lock as they go along. That can be, a couple days if you have the time, but most persons will just allow the hair to grow to a desired length and they'll just take it off. They'll just cut it from there, and of course they style as usual. And then you have the other set now, that after we go through all of that and we have our natural hair, what do? Protective style, guys. Protective style is very important. It's very important. For one, we have to get up and we have the kids them to deal with, and we have to get up and go work, and we just need to get up and go. And so a protective style actually do help for those purposes, and it also helps for the purpose of the hair growth, because you're not in the hair every day. You're not going into it every minute and saying, oh Lord, my hair now grow. It keeps your hand out of your hair. And whenever you keep those styles, you can keep them within the time frame. Depending on what you're doing, can last between 2 weeks up to 2 months. Again, those are just protective styles. And after you take out those, you go through with your hair regime, do your conditioning, do your shampoo, do your treatment, do your steam, and you're back to another protective style. Let's talk about the do's and the don'ts of when you're transitioning, because a lot of times persons, when they're transitioning, whether you're transitioning from locks to natural hair, from processed to natural hair, we tend to use some protective styles that are very rigid on our scalp, and it defeats the purpose of going through the transition. You want to do less tension, because what will happen is that when we have some of our stylists that are very strong on their hands, we tend to have blotches or alopecia on the edges. We lose our edges, and we want to be very, 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 very clear that at no point in time you want to have any protective style that is so tight that you can't sleep. I'm not into it. I shall not have it. I want to be able to sleep at night. So we want to be able to get those styles that are wearable and last for the time factor that we want to keep it for, in order to get the goodness or the betterness out of a protective style. So we want not to have tight, whether it's cornrows, whether it's twists, whether it's rope twist braids, with or without your wig. It should not be tight so that it is grabbing onto our edges or wherever it's tight, so that we lose hair in the process. So that's the don't of transitioning. The do's in transitioning is always remember to moisturize. Whether you have the hair in, whether the braids are in, the crusher braids are in, whatever it is, you have to do a moisturizer to maintain moisture beneath the braids. You have to moisturize. It's a must. That's something that I've always preached. I've always tell my clients that whenever you do a protective style, if you can wash in between too with your braids, then it also helps, because that means that at least you can be able to apply your oils on your scalp and go as usual. That's pretty much that with your protective style. If you need me, you know where to find me. I'm your girl Trudy. I'm at Just Natural, and that's 38A Trafalgar Road. Hit me up. Tell me what's your protective style. Tell me how do you take care of your protective style. And if you need my one-on-one consultation, you know where to find me again. I'm at 38A Trafalgar Road, and you can get me at 906-0400, or you can WhatsApp me on 364-9170. Hit me up and we can talk about it. Thanks for tuning in. Always remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to my channel. See you soon. Ciao.